5. To block this call and all future calls, press 7. To reject this call, hang up now. You may begin speaking now.
Hello and welcome to Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. It is November the 6th. I don't know why I keep putting dates on all these, but whatever. Anyway, so for those of you keeping tabs, by the way, I have not got my date yet, and it's driving me crazy. I feel like every hour is 20 hours. It's like I am doing the slowest time of my life right now. Nothing changed, but I feel like I'm stuck in molasses. Anyway, back in January 27th, 2007, I arrived in the same prison that I am right now. I had cancer. I was sent from Lewisburg to this medical center, and after going through orientation, I went up the elevators, and the door opened, and there stood a guy by the name of Jack Menino. Jack Menino I knew from Lewisburg. I liked Jack a lot. He was actually a friend of Tommy Reynolds as well. Unfortunately, Jack went bad, a.k.a. became a stool pigeon or a rat. Got busted in a bank robbery after he got out with Danny, a guy by the name of Danny Fama's brother, and left his ID at the crime scene, which was a bank robbery, or in the car, something stupid like that. Anyway, and to avoid a 25-year prison sentence, he got 10 and ratted out anyway. Jack was here. I knew him from Lewisburg. He had colon cancer. I lived over in 4B, and Jack lived over here, right, literally where I'm at, the cell in front of where I'm at, over in 4C. He introduced me to the Italian guys that were here, and amongst them was a guy by the name of DePalma, who was the former Capo of the Gambino crime family. That's not how they say it. Anyway, so, Greg, I loved talking to him. He ran at the mouth, as many people would know. A lot of older mob guys you talk to kind of roll their eyes when they say Greg's name. Matter of fact, I know a guy here, whose name I shall not mention, kind of rolls his eyes. But anyway, I liked Greg. He was, I mean, if you, the picture boy for the mafia, he told all the big stories. I've done audios before about how he shot a cop when he was a kid. I mean, I can go on about the theater that he had, and just a lot of stories. He was a good storyteller too, and he'd keep you going. Now, we did Sunday meals, Thursday meals, Thursday and Sunday. A lot of different meals in between, pizza and stuff like that. But Greg didn't know that I had cigarettes when I got here. Shortly after I got here, within days, I was approached by a staff member who's now gone if I wanted to buy cigarettes from him, and may or may not have done that, whatever. And my gig was pills at the time. I would trade cigarettes for pills. Greg had pills. He liked cigarettes, and I'm talking about OxyContin. Sometimes morphine, but pretty much Oxy was all the big thing back then. Here, the pill line was totally full of Oxy. Today, totally different. Methadone, gabapentin, some Percocets, but not like it used to. And let's leave out the illegal stuff. But anyway, so I would trade him for my cigarettes. His pills for my cigarettes. There was also, and I've done stories about that in the past. If you guys go deep back into the bank of videos when I was out doing videos about, I've talked about that. I talked about me getting kicked out of here, actually, because they thought I was fraternizing with the nurse when Jojo Rosso was dying. That was in July of 2007. Well, there are staff members who are here who knew me from back in 2007. So I've ran across 4 so far. Actually 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5 who Rosso, come up, talk to me. Hey, Rosso. One of them, and I'll talk about these guys when I get out. One of them was across the street at the one. He knew me by being around Carmine all the time. Another one knew me about doing reporting work and about how one of the SIS guys was always on my neck. I was giving me a bad time, and I was doing reporting about this prison. Anyway, so one of them threw me for a total surprise here, and this was a week or two ago. And today I was thinking about what to do for an audio, and I can't believe I forgot this. especially since I've already talked about the thing with Carmine and Nikki just the other day. But we were talking, and the cop was, the CO was telling me about, yeah, I remember when you were around named Tommy Karate. He knows about the channel. And he said around Greg DePalma. And we were kind of laughing. And he said, you know, a lot of cops didn't like Greg. And the reason they didn't like Greg is because he'd get on his phone and cuss out his wife every single night.
This call is from a federal prison.
I believe the son's name was Craig. I don't know if it was Greg or Craig. And you guys in New York that have followed that life would know more than me about it. But every night he would call his wife and say, how's Craig? All right. And then she would say something, he'd start calling her bad names. And a lot of the officers really didn't like him because of the way he disrespected his wife. Okay? I stayed out of it, of course. What the hell am I to say? You know, tell a guy in his 80s with congestive heart failure and cancer how to talk to his wife or not, you know? Anyway, Greg knew about the allegations being made about me and the female staff. He knew about the cigarettes. And there was a nurse here one time that somebody saw her or believed to see her engaging in an embrace with a inmate. Okay? Greg was told this information. This is one of the nurses that used to do dressing on his legs. Greg had congestive heart failure, and he had his legs like leaked water. And every day they would have to come in and they'd have to like wrap his legs because water was coming out of them, you know, or whatever. And this was a job that the nurses came in. Of course, they didn't like to do it. And he could be a nasty son of a bitch if he didn't like it. And for sure he was at times. And anyway, well, the cop tells me, he says, you know, Greg ratted you out. And I said, what? And he says, you know, DePalma put the finger on you. I said, about what? He said, about the girl and about cigarettes. And I said, what are you talking about? I couldn't believe that he remembered this, okay? Like I said, I got kicked out of here for they believed that I was too close to the staff member or whatever, okay? They sent me across the street. But the cigarettes was never brought up. Now, I brought it up on YouTube, you know, some time ago, and that person was long gone because he was at the end of his career, so that's why I was able to bring it up, because I wouldn't want to ever get nobody in trouble. But I was kind of taken aback, and at first I didn't believe it, and I didn't. And it was kind of like, okay, well, this is one of them that said he didn't like him. Talk really bad about Greg. And I'm like, he didn't go nowhere. Meaning, when would he ever have a chance to tell, or be in close quarters with cops, with staff members? And that's what kind of weighed on me. I'm like, okay, this guy's saying that Greg fingered me, that he's the one that said something, you know, basically confirmed that they believed that I was messing around with the girl. A nurse that's long gone, so, you know, like I said, and I never confirmed, I wouldn't deny. Actually, I did a video about it, but whatever. Anyway, but I was thinking, how could he have ever said that? I pushed him, or me or a couple other guys would push him down the commissary. He did not go to the jail hall, and he literally stayed in his cell. I am right now, as I speak to you, in front of cell 4327 on 4C, C range. This is where Greg lived. I am in front of the cell. Then I got to thinking, well, how would he do it? And I asked the cop. It was through the nurses. When they would wrap his legs, they would go in and they would close the door sometimes, not all the time. And he told me, this one officer, that Greg was giving them information all the time about certain things that were going on. And it just kind of floored me, because it made sense, because there was times that for sure that the door was closed when they did the wraps, and for sure that was not, and I started remembering back. Well, you can't always take a staff member's words, but the question remains, did Greg DePalma rat me out? Take care, thanks for your support. Have a good one, bye.